It is a pleasure to be here. Just kind of stretching out a bit after that relaxing break with Abby. Thank you, Abby. Welcome to Email Best Practices. As Chidi said, my name is Art Shop, and I look forward to sharing a little bit of email experience and introduce you to Listrak. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now. If I can get a thumbs up or any kind of confirmation that you guys are seeing what I hope you're seeing, email best practices. Looks great. Very good. All right, so without any further ado, we'll get rolling. So brief agenda. We're going to go over a brief history of email, a little bit about Listrak, some real life examples and success stories that you might be able to take away with you as you're getting ready to get into Q4. And then we'll wrap up with some audience questions, if there are any at the end. So let's get started with a question. Best way to be interactive, I suppose. Email has been referred to as the grandfather of digital marketing. I think a lot of my colleagues speaking earlier were attesting to that. Since it has existed for so many years, and to this day has one of the highest ROI of any digital marketing channel. So the question is, what year was the first email sent? Feel free to jump in and throw your guesses in the chat. If you want to Google it, Google it. Might even be available in any hardback dictionaries or resources you have around the house. But let's go right to the chase. That year was 1971. The first email was sent by a gentleman by the name of Ray Tomlinson, the engineer who invented the email program on the ARPANET system. Now we're getting dated here. He sent that message to himself and received it on a computer sitting right next to him. Imagine his delight. Qualifies for Web Email Geek 1.0. Fun fact, almost 2.5 billion emails are sent every second. So let's take a brief look forward from 1971 and take a look at the current state of email as we look under the hood for best practices in email marketing. You'll quickly understand how email earned that title of grandfather of digital marketing due to marketing maturity levels being somewhat low with brands who are just getting into email. Many retailers and brands often take the batch and blast or promotional podcast strategy. We all know that this strategy has some immediate benefits, mostly rapidly driving sales revenue up and observed email KPIs like open rate, read rate, click-through, and conversion. The challenge with this strategy is customers are being trained to respond only to promotional offers, creating a very slippery slope with regard to multiple future purchases, customer list retention and growth, and most importantly, margin erosion. We as business people do not like margin erosion. As emailers progress up the maturity model, they start seeing the benefits of segmentation, automated triggers, cross-channel orchestration, which culminate in a more focused email strategy, allowing them to send unique, personalized messaging to each one of their customers, as opposed to batch and blasting a single message to their customer list. So this customer journey map shows the unique steps that can be taken using the Listrak marketing automation platform. Your options may vary depending on who your marketing automation platform are, but we like to present this as best-in-class, best practice solutions. We're going to begin on the left here with core marketing email, including broadcast messaging with basic segmentation, taking it a step further, layering in behavioral triggers, which of course are the more popular email campaigns that you receive as a consumer, including shopping cart abandonment, browsing abandonment, your post-purchase surveys, replenishments, of course, transactional emails. Everybody receives those. Then we take a step further. We layer in a Listrak onboard product recommendations tool that allows product recommendation to be delivered in the email threads for the customer that is most relevant to their journey. As we come around the horn on the top of the Listrak Growth Accelerator platform, this is our identity resolution and on-site visitor optimization tool. We'll explore a little bit more about that later in the presentation. And as we come around the right side, the customer insights and predictive analytics that a more advanced and robust marketing automation platform delivering email and cross-channel communications delivers effectively allows you and your brands to understand what your customer might do based on their behavior going forward. Next, cross-channel orchestration. There's been a lot of talk about new technology and the way people are communicating. Obviously, SMS and MMS are a very, very relevant channel. We have an embedded onboard SMS solution with Listrak that allows you to coexist within the two lists and cross-channel message each one of your customers according to what is the preferred destination or the best relevant destination for the message. And then in the end, we're going to really emphasize personalization as we go through some of the best practices. First, little advice here before selecting your email and marketing automation platform. It's important to confirm you'll be able to integrate with your eCom platform. Of course, in order to take advantage of today's most effective email solutions, you'll need to coordinate your customers' behavior on-site to the email platform's automated triggered messaging tools. Listrak easily integrates with any eCom platform, and some of the more popular platforms like Shopify, Shopify Plus, BigCommerce, and Magento maintain a vetted and approved Listrak install cartridge in their partner marketplace, allowing for effectively a plug-and-play integration and implementation. We also maintain a host of robust REST API tools, adding an ease of integration. Don't worry if your eCom platform is either homegrown or lives on a legacy platform. We can easily populate our JavaScript code into any one of those platforms. While onboarding, a little advice in general, you should allow up to 90 days for your email marketing solutions to be successfully onboarded. Be sure you have a plan going forward with all of the stakeholders along with your email service provider marketing automation solution. During onboarding, you want to allow about 1/3 of your time in the project roadmap to facilitate IP warming, a process that prepares major internet service providers to clear and whitelist all of your outbound emails. Listrak maintains a dedicated in-house deliverability team with a 24/7 support for our clients and never rely on third-party email sending solutions to deliver our clients' emails. This results in the industry's highest inbox placement and lowest spam and undeliverable email rate. Note this slide where we're showing a high spam rate is fairly typical of many of the clients that we're helping migrate from a legacy marketing automation platform due to our high maintenance level and deliverability. And of course, always have a project plan. Don't need to spend a lot of time on this. Plan. Be sure all of the stakeholders have actionable, trackable project plan during onboarding. So one of the most important metrics in e-commerce, we're going to kind of sidestep email a little bit, is customer lifetime value. We're all investing money in acquiring customers. We want to make sure we optimize that journey for our company's profitability. And the first step is acquisition. So getting to new customers requires focused and well-placed campaigns across multiple digital channels. We've explored a lot of those today at eCom Week LA. They're changing hourly, if not by the minute, different ways to reach your audience and customer. We work hard to do that. You want to attract customers to your brand that look like your best customers. That is the ultimate goal in marketing. Customer purchase preferences and behaviors are usually managed through a variety of research tools and mechanisms. Now, I don't want to imply that Listrak specializes in acquisition or outreach marketing and advertising, but I'm going to try to run a correlation between email and cross-channel marketing and acquisition branding. Obviously, it was talked about this morning, How do brands achieve new customer target return on ad spend when privacy concerns impact acquisition campaigns? You just need to open up your web browser or news source and find out that every day there's a challenge to us in marketing and e-commerce. Pending browser third-party cookie removal. It was put out as a notice, they backed off of it, but it looks like it's coming down the road. Currently, Apple's app tracking transparency policy, which we're seeing a lot of news on, is impacting some of the larger ad platforms, including Facebook, and obviously is impacting the work of in-house marketers trying to align themselves with the right acquisition channels. So always being critical to growth, these current market challenges in acquisition will definitely create some pains for the e-commerce space and impact our cost to acquire customers and create deeper dives in reporting. But the great news is a well-executed email strategy can optimize site traffic from any device. The more subscribers and customers you have, the more revenue you generate. More importantly, you set your customers in motion on observable customer journeys where you can deliver all types of messaging, from broadcast to highly relevant triggered campaigns based on customer behavior on your site. Most importantly, you and your brand own the first and zero-party data gold mine that leads to the highest customer lifetime value. I've left that up on the screen to kind of talk to you about those top 5 email acquisition must-haves. We'll take a little bit of a dive into that. First, I want to point out at its core, the Listrak platform creates an environment for customer identification via zero and first-party data. Obviously, zero-party data is customer volunteered data, preference center. Frank here on the screen wants to let you know he prefers to get email at his Gmail address as opposed to his Yahoo address. We all have multiple email addresses. We have multiple devices. Stitching these different attributes together by customer is something that we can specialize in and identify that customer's inbound activities within milliseconds when they enter the site. This core identity function is amplified by using our identity resolution tool in Listrak's Growth Accelerator program, or GXP platform, excuse me. Imagine the power of identifying all inbound site traffic before they subscribe to your list. If you'd like to learn more about Listrak GXP, just type GXP in the chat window. All right, hope everybody's hanging in there. Now, pop-ups, nothing too revealing here. The modal pop-up or lightbox is often referred to has been the primary tool for acquiring list and customer growth within the email space and e-commerce for many years. It's important to have tested and relevant creative with this strategy, as some of you may agree as consumers, a poorly designed and poorly timed pop-up can result in an immediate bounce from a site and loss of a customer. Further, as mobile traffic increased throughout time, Google, for example, focused on making mobile site design as user-friendly as possible and threatened punitive ranking decline across brands' search engine result pages, or SERPs, that did not comply. You may recall Mobilegeddon, as it was referred to in 2015, where Google effectively warned brands to remove any pop-ups from their mobile site, resulting in an abandonment of these practices by many brands. The good news is Google slowly eased their demands, but the even better news is Listrak already had a solution in play. So the dreaded fat finger rush, I've got them, I can't use them, they're not much at typing, and I definitely have mobile challenges. To enter my email address on a mobile device created a lot of work for me personally. And our developers started figuring out a way to leverage this new technology a few years back called SMS. And they decided to layer that in as the primary acquisition tool for mobile traffic. My colleague, Haley Larson, will explain all the details regarding the power of SMS immediately following my presentation. But effectively what we're doing is using the tap to join option as opposed to getting somebody to enter their email address off the fly on a pop-up. So a few slides back, we discussed the importance of first and zero-party data being the gold mine that yields the highest customer lifetime value. Creating exportable customer audience profiles from the Listrak exchange solution, for example, enables your team to automatically layer these profiles into your traditional digital acquisition channels like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Google Ads platform. This solution will no doubt mitigate the challenges created by previously discussed privacy restrictions within your acquisition channels. Further, this solution also offers a huge savings in time and resources for your in-house team or your agency-based team to craft and build those acquisition audiences, because effectively you're creating a lookalike audience to go hunting with. So we've covered some basic steps in acquisition. Let's talk about how email can help your customers remain active, engaged, purchasing, and most importantly, coming back for more. Our behavioral listening service, or BLS, is the aggregation of all Listrak automated triggered email and cross-channel communications along your customer's journey. We encourage you to confirm your current email provider offers these types of triggered and personalized messages. They're a core foundation in success and personalization. So for example, triggered messages, the first step is usually the welcome message after subscribing. Always keep in mind some of the best practices that are displayed on the screen, the message cadence, message timing. More importantly, as I mentioned earlier about best practices in marketing automation and email, you want to be able to differentiate a little bit between the customers. In this case, our client Kirkland's has K Club members who are within a different segment from a new customer onboarding. Maybe they were shopping in store and are in that status, but we now have that information. Further, if you choose to install dynamic coupon codes and in-store barcoding, that is also an option available. And then, of course, those predictive product recommendations. And what's wonderful about Listrak's first-party cookie that can be dropped with the consumer, if they have not subscribed to the list, we still have that browsing activity that we can stitch back in to the welcome series, creating a very, very personalized and nurtured welcome series message. Automated recurring broadcast campaigns combined with the best-in-class predictive product recommendations, analytics, and behavioral algorithms are the key foundation of all successful email marketing strategies. Excuse me. Segmentation and audience building tools set the pace for your email communications, and adding even more horsepower to your audience building, create advanced segmentation strategies with our AI-driven predictive models. As you can see here, we'll have the power and the ability to deliver different predictive segmentation models based on a variety of behaviors from the customer. Creating responsive emails should be simple, with more time spent building audiences and less on building emails. The Listrak Composer drag and drop email builder puts all the dynamic personalized content right at your fingertips. It's also considered best practice to have a mid-funnel message campaign addressing customers' category level or pre-cart entry activity. It's a good lead indicator as to where they may be going off of the category into a more direct PDP SKU-driven purchase. The Composer tool also allows anyone familiar with using any Microsoft Office product like Word or PowerPoint to create dynamic, responsive, and personalized triggered emails like the always successful shopping cart abandonment email. It's very important that you have this type of solution so your team can build those emails without being too code heavy. And of course, little shot of some best practices for shopping cart abandonment. I think we're all familiar with what those look like. We receive them as consumers quite frequently. This is another one of these email campaigns that if it's not executed properly and data-driven, you're going to be delivering irrelevant and annoying messaging towards a consumer who's already at the end of your funnel. So you need to be very, very strategic when you're designing these types of campaigns. And that strategy will pay off in the types of ROI that you're seeing on the screen. Once all your campaigns are built, having an intuitive drag and drop workflow tool enables you to control every possible customer journey. This includes action steps across all known customer marketing channels. Again, this is a way to minimize friction on your in-house team or your agency team and let the power be on the audience building and the marketing strategy and not the building of the email. Another highly recommended successful email campaign can be found in our predicted product alert suite. Back in stock, price drop, and low inventory campaigns are a great tool in managing inventory flow. Always remember to keep those predictive product recommendations within all of your personalized email campaigns. They're worth their weight in gold. So, interesting that we're wrapping up on that particular triggered message. The old saying, a bird in the hand is worth, well, the old saying is a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. But applying this to selling products online takes on a very profound meaning. A bird in the hand is worth keeping. After all the effort placed on getting your customer to your site, holding their interest with your best-in-class user experience and product offerings, imagine their frustration when you are out of stock on their desired product. This holiday may be negatively impacted by supply chain issues, perhaps more than ever. If you live in Southern California, near the Port of Los Angeles, I'm sure you've noticed the container ships backlogged off the coast. Missing out on key strategy like back-in-stock notifications with predictive product recommendations leveraged on first-party data and behavior would be a big miss indeed this holiday season. A few more ideas regarding personalization, as you can see with our client Joma Shop. This email template has been crafted to contain the same basic image size, specs, and product. But the product is based on each individual user's behavior and personalized preferences, as you can see. So build one email, have the system send it out to all of your clients in a unique, personalized fashion. I'm going to say it again, keep it personal. Your email provider should offer, as Listrak does, an inline, fully transparent product recommendations tool. We can also deliver this HTML code from our product recommendations tool to populate on-site for an added personal touch. They say content is king. And earlier we heard from the Entourage creator, Doug Yellen, on just how important content is across the board, whether you're nurturing a new brand or producing a television series. Get 3x higher engagement with predictive content on your email communication, just like that. And basically, this predictive content could be something in the beauty cosmetic space that would have beauty tips and tricks, perhaps influencer content, and any vertical can be applied to this. Do-it-yourself manuals for home goods. Personalization wins the deal. Take your content a step further. Yes, pun intended. That's our footwear client. And we're obviously personalizing by gender in this case, but tailoring to your client's individual needs is really what we're trying to share with you today. It's a very important aspect of your email marketing. Of course, Often considered the last email opened by a happy customer is the order confirmation email, the highest open and read rate of almost all emails. Transactional communication should always be on brand, and whenever possible, offer continuing upsell, cross-sell suggestions. Ratings and reviews and other elements that drive follow-up email notifying customers of their loyalty status is another example of the benefits of keeping activity in the transactional communication and post-purchase. Don't stop there. We all know how it is currently in our lifestyle. Package tracking is becoming a must-have. Need to know when we're getting the dog food. Need to know when we're getting whatever it is we need as consumers. Package tracking in the email, live package tracking specifically, is one of the most active additional layered features in shipping confirmation emails. And while you're at it, double down with the same messaging going to your customer via our SMS channel. When it's all said and done, as my colleague mentioned earlier, some of my professionals in the space, reporting is critical. Reporting is what drives results. Reporting is what creates action. When it's all said and done, high-level reporting with the ability to drill down and distribute to your team for just-in-time analysis is critical to maintaining a steady pulse on your customer's activity. Reporting is great, but unless it's delivered to the right team member for actionable decision-making, they just become vanity metrics, like how many people come to your site. I've heard people over time say, boy, my traffic's up 300%. And that never follows with the benefit from that traffic. So we want to make sure that things are translating into success for your brand. Of course, there are additional reports available and best practice for any marketing automation platform, and sending email, SMS, or any communications is reporting, and they be able to understand what your customer is doing and understand how you can respond to your customer's behavior. Predictive analytics, the propensity to open, click, purchase. I've spent a lot of years on the retail side, and there are two predictive propensities I want to find out: discount affinity and coupon affinity. Save my margin, please. Why would I be messaging to a customer who has no association with wanting to pay for a discount on my brand? I don't. So therefore, that reporting is going to drive solid solutions we can take to market. Just some more additional customer analytics dashboards that you can see. We happen to have a very robust graphical interface that very simple to use, very intuitive, and more importantly, you can drill down into these dashboards and get reporting. Start my video. Get reporting. It looks like I might be wrapping up here a little bit, maybe going a little long on time, as we're already at 3:29. 70 out-of-the-box data visualizations, and we're almost done. Trusted by 1,000 retailers, just some of our brands at Listrak. Most importantly, what we rely on at Listrak is the ability to serve our customers. We've earned a Net Promoter Score of 82, which translates into client success, because that's an important consideration when you're reviewing marketing automation and emails. Make sure somebody can take care of you as you get through the process. One last question. Now we have better understanding of marketing emails and emails. When do you think the first marketing email was sent? Well, it was a whopping 7 years after the first email was sent. And the guy who sent the first email for Digital Equipment Corp made $13 million in sales. Considering inflation, that's about $78 million today. Consequently, this email is also regarded as the first spam message. Isn't it beautiful? It's amazing how far we've come in this space. Why spam and where did it come from? Email spam, also referred to as junk mail, is unsolicited messages sent in bulk by email, also known as spamming. You would think it was an acronym, spam, but it was actually taken from a Monty Python sketch in which the name of canned pork products was defined as ubiquitous, unavoidable, and repetitive. We're dropping the YouTube link in there. You guys can take a look at it when you have some time. Thank you for your time. I'm sorry I ran a little bit late. Just very excited to share with you. And also, hot off the press, check your chat window for the link to our holiday 2021 sales growth and beyond playbook. And thank you once again for your time.